Hey, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to the Media Goose channel. It is I, the Media Goose, RJG, and the goose is loose, baby. Huh? And I am here today to talk about Night 2 of WrestleMania. Night 2 felt like a night and day difference from night 1 of WrestleMania. Night 2 felt like they remembered how to book a show. This was just so much better overall. Every match, the pacing, I feel like the better matches may have also just been kind of stacked onto night 2. It was a ton of fun. I didn't record last night. This weekend, with the weather going up and down, my allergies have been crazy. I woke up real just exhausted and groggy this morning. It's also 420. Happy 420 to those that celebrate. I was celebrating all WrestleMania weekend, so my voice is a little shot, so bear with me, y'all. So, we started off night 2 of WrestleMania night 2. We started off night 2 with Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi. And it was perfect. It went less than 5 minutes, but it didn't need to go any longer. The best Brock Lesnar matches are typically, unless he's working with a little guy, and they go for like 15 minutes like AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan and Finn Balor. This is the best template. This is the Goldberg at WrestleMania 35 template. Or 34, where it's just like a 5-minute car crash, and they had Oba sell for like a minute in the middle of the 5 minutes, but besides that, he dominated Brock. I jumped out of my seat excited when he pinned him. It was everything it needed to be. It completely established Oba Femi as the next big thing, and I have no critiques. This is an A+. They perfectly executed this. Oba, you couldn't tell me nothing if I was Oba. They chanted his name through his entire entrance. Then as he was getting him up for the fall from grace, they were chanting his name again. This guy is headed maybe to a place where nobody's been. Everybody, all these top guys, I guess besides Cena, at some point went away or left or something. And who knows, maybe Oba's the guy that just has that dominant run at the top and doesn't go anywhere. And it's like the next 10 to 15 years. That's what it could be, because that was excellent. And now the second match of the night, the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. This match ended up going 15 minutes. It was absolutely excellent. From the moment the bell rang with Penta doing the crossbody from the ladder on the outside, it was just constant madness. This match never slowed down. At the beginning, we had the Luchadors jumping JD. That was fun. Rusev using the ladder on everybody. And, of course, Javon shined throughout this match. This was just non-stop barn burner of a ladder match. It was as good as it could have been. I so thoroughly enjoyed this. There were so many great exchanges here. There was a big back body drop on JD onto a ladder. Javon got suplexed onto a ladder, I think by Rusev. Rusev was dealing out a ton of damage in this. I hope they have plans for Rusev after WrestleMania. I would love to see him and Javon have a little series. We had Dragon do a drop kick on Ray as he was like hung upside down on a ladder. That was sick. Penta ends up throwing Ray through Rusev through a ladder. Insane. All of our favorites from our youth are retiring. AJ, Cena, Brock. But Rey Mysterio is still doing crazy WrestleMania spots. Penta and Ray have a fun exchange. Or Dragon and Penta, I think. Dragon and Ray, actually, where there was a Styles clash on Ray. JD McDonough hits the Spanish Fly. Then we get the Penta Mexican Destroyer on the bridging ladder. This just kept escalating. Javon with the cutter from the corner onto Rusev coming off the ladder. This just continued escalating until the final sequence where Penta ends up back on top and he retains his Intercontinental Championship. While I would have loved to see Javon retain, I mentioned in my last video beforehand, it kind of felt too early in Penta's reign to end it, and I totally get that. He wanted the ladder match, having him go in and defend and retain, I totally agree with. This was another great match. 2 A+ matches to open the night. This was so much fun to watch. Everybody really got shine. Sometimes 8-man ladder matches can feel a little too chaotic. 6 men in this match was the perfect balance. And then we've got Sami Zayn, the gingerbread man, defending against Trick Williams with Little Yachty coming down with him. And Trick Williams got the star response during his entrance again. This was one of the shorter matches on the card with about 8 minutes, but it was still a really good match. Whoever produced this match, kudos to you for getting everything you could. They started hot right away. There was no build. It was right in. And, my God, it was so damn good. They never slowed down. Sami in control. He takes out Yachty. They get out to the apron where Sami hits a fucking apron brain buster. Holy hell. Crazy. Then Yachty gets back involved to negate heel Sami getting the haluva kick, and Trick gets the win. This was a little over 7 minutes, almost 8 minutes. Like I said, though, Sami and Trick got everything they needed to out of this. It didn't overstay its welcome, and while it could have went longer, potentially, I didn't mind at all. This didn't feel like a match that was rushed. It felt like a match with heat. And that is the difference between a match that feels like it's running through a checklist before they go home and a match that tells an effective story in the allotted time. So, Trick Williams, 2 out of 3 of the futures of the company. Trick, Oba, and Javon won 2 of the 3. Javon's the youngest, so he's got plenty of time. And good for Trick getting his first title. This is amazing. I hope they have a full celebration on SmackDown. And then we get Dom versus the Demon. This was another fun match. It was over 10 minutes long. It started pretty quick again. Dom went straight to the kendo sticks to even the odds against the Demon. Brought out a bunch of chairs as well. They did a good spot where it looked like Dom was going to get shotgun drop kicked through the tables, but he reversed it and threw the Demon through. Then he did a 619 on a chair over the Demon's head, near fall. And this is when the tide started to turn. The Demon took control again. Dom ended up setting up a table, but it ends up where the Demon gets control. He wraps Dom's head with the chair, does the shotgun drop kick into the corner, puts Dom on the table, and hits a coup de grace for the win. And it was a pretty good match. I think that it didn't miss any beats, I felt like. It did everything I wanted. I will say, Finn was a little out there with his performance. He went very, artsy and almost theatery with it. And I'm not saying I dislike that, but I was almost expecting a little bit more like Prince Devitt fucking NXT, bad boy Demon, but this was more like performative babyface Demon. And it's fine, not really a complaint, but just something I noticed. I enjoyed that match a lot, though. They both had really good entrances. Dom with the King of the Luchadors entrance was awesome, and obviously the Demon always looks great. Then we have a match between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, and for me, This was easily the best match in the ring of Jade's career in WWE. This was an incredibly fun match. Another match. This one went 10 minutes, and I thought they nailed it. It was, again, instead of feeling like a match that got shortened and they were rushing through it, it just felt like a good match booked for that amount of time. I thought Jade looked really good. She was hitting great offense. Everything looked good. Nothing looked... There have been segments where I've called Jade for not selling well or not fully committing to things. Not the case at all here. This was an excellent showing. At the end, I did like Rhea winning, but it was such an it was such a shining time for Jade. I really wanted her to retain at the end, but even the final sequence was so excellently handled. The spine buster from Jade was great. There was just so much really good stuff here, and it was all really smooth, and Jade and Rhea should be really proud because I was critical of the build, but this match delivered when it mattered most, so that was a lot of fun. And good for Rhea. And now I think Jade can continue developing this character and this faction. Maybe they go after the United States Championship. Maybe Michin and B-Fab go after the women's tag. I think this was so positive for Jade in terms of her effort, her ability, and the match, that where going into the match, I didn't know what could have been next if they didn't win. I see what's next, whatever they want, because this was a great showing. And now, y'all, the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania, or actually, let me first get to Danhausen. So John Cena comes out to do the attendance announcement again, and of course, The Miz and Kit Wilson come out to interrupt, which prompts Danhausen. Danhausen comes up with a bunch of mini-Hausens, an army of little people behind him dressed as Danhausen, and Danhausen has his little car. The audience loves Danhausen. If you don't like Danhausen at this point, you're the weird ones. To Bleacher Report, fuck you. They rated this segment like a D and an F. Go fuck yourself. What clowns. The guy running the wrestling page over at Bleacher Report runs a shitty fucking YouTube channel for wrestling too, where him and his friends share their crap takes. So I'm not surprised that Bleacher Report grades Danhausen stuff the way they do. They're fucking AEW shills. But I really loved this segment. It was hilarious. Danhausen goes over, introduces himself to John. They have a funny moment. Miz and Kit call one of the little people toxic. Kit attacks him. Danhausen says, "Famous Davis!" I used to work at a barbecue joint named Famous Dave's. I had like flashbacks. He says, "Famous Davis, get him." Famous Davis hits Kit Wilson with a dick punch. Then he calls a dog pile. They dog pile on top, and then Danhausen hits a dick punch on Miz. I thought this was hilarious when Danhausen's standing in front of John Cena at the end and goes, "You can't see me." The little pyro goes off and he runs, but the lights don't go. It was so good. I absolutely loved it. I love Danhausen. This was hysterical. After the segment, John Cena goes, "Well, that was great." And everybody laughs and agrees. Danhausen's so much fun. I love what he brings to WWE. I love his stuff. And fuck Bleacher Report for burying this stuff like they did. Then we get the main event, a real main event to WrestleMania, not that crap we got on night 1. This was like a 5-star match. This was so damn good. From the first moment they locked up, everything had so much heat and tension. They were jawing at each other through the whole match. I was watching the pay-per-view with Steven Larson's Going in Raw podcast. They live stream and the chat interacts. It's nice to get like engagement and reactions to things. And right from the beginning, like 5 minutes in, me and the chat were saying things like, this has started with a faster pace than the typical Roman match. A lot of Roman matches were a lot slower than what they worked here. This felt like Roman wanting to put on a really great match, and it also felt like Punk putting on an amazing match for his final act as world champion. It won in what was an excellent world title run. I so commend CM Punk for putting in all the work he did. That was an incredible performance from Punk. To sell the effects, they went with the storyline that he's too old. That thing that Roman said where he was like, you're old. That was the story they told in this match. And it was so effectively done. When Roman collapsed back onto Punk's shoulders, it was like, oh, he loves this spot. And then he couldn't get him up and he collapsed. He did that in the Moxley match. He did that in the Seth match. So doing it in a Roman match now would make sense for the Shield trifecta. He couldn't. He's too old. He couldn't hold up Roman, the biggest of the three guys I just mentioned. The story going forward is that CM Punk was too old to beat Roman Reigns. This was an incredible match. Genuinely. This was probably the best match these two could have had. I so thoroughly enjoyed it. Congratulations to CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Also, their entrances were immaculate. Roman's entrance with the excellent vocalist, the person on the big percussion drums, and then you had the person on the piano, and he brought back the OG Tribal Chief theme. That was when I knew it was over. I knew it was over when Randy lost last 2 nights ago now, but when Roman brought back the old Tribal Chief theme, I was like, oh, it's a wrap for Punk, baby. And then Punk got his incredible entrance with his ROH song, Miseria Cantare, by AFI. I hope I pronounced that right. It was so emotional. It was beautiful. Intercut with the video packages of Punk's career. I didn't mention it during my review of Night 1, but Cody's entrance was awesome as well. Going through the age of Cody, and his entrance costume was breathtaking. It was gorgeous. Sorry I didn't mention that. I was too distracted by how bad of a match it was. But this was every bit a WrestleMania main event. From the entrances feeling like a massive fight feel, to the match starting with so much heat so early. Every exchange between these two, they were jawing at each other like 25 minutes in, like it was the first 10 minutes. It was just phenomenal. I really couldn't be happier for these two. I'm really transparent about the fact that CM Punk is one of my favorite wrestlers ever. And to see him have this main event with the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, I just feel really grateful. I brought up how the internet was saying this wasn't one of the best main events of all time. I never really shared my take on that. After WrestleMania, there's no doubt in my mind this is one of the best main events of all time. Where WrestleMania 40, Cody and Roman, was like Avengers Endgame, this was like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Like, this was all work rate. They didn't need the portal scene where John Cena comes out and then the Usos come out and then The Rock. They didn't need that. It was two of the best in the world delivering on the grandest stage of all, proving that they are two of the best wrestlers alive. I watched a really bloated main event recently that didn't come anywhere near what this match was. There was a lot of stuff this weekend that I was very critical of WWE for Night 1, so I don't want to be sold as somebody who will just, say they're always great, but there was a lot of people trying to shit on everything about Night 2 as well. And also, Andrea Hale, fuck you, buddy. That guy's a piece of shit. And it was funny how quickly Sean Ross Sapp jumped to defend him. Do your research first. He's not a good guy. So, guys, overall, night 2 felt like a real night of WrestleMania. WrestleMania could have been one night this year. Night 2. I feel like in the past, there's always typically, or there have been really unbalanced cards. And in the past, it's been unbalanced to night 1's favor, but it was a lot better this year having night 2 be the night where no missed matches, no matches that didn't get all of the time and creative they needed. This was an amazing night of wrestling, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out. Go follow me on Instagram, the Media Goose. I was posting my reactions. I did my Oba strut over there. So go follow me on Instagram, on X, on Facebook to keep up with everything I've got going on in the post-WrestleMania landscape. Thank you guys for hanging out. The Goose and WrestleMania 42 are out. Hey!